Hey world, and welcome to my last wrap-up of the year 2022. This is November and December together because I did barely read anything. Technically I didn't finish a single book in November. I did read some stuff, but I only finished it in December, so I'm just combining those last 2 months, just retail work during Christmas, you know. I didn't have time. So yeah, these are the books I read in November and December of 2022, and let's just get right into it, shall we? The first book I don't actually have with me because it was a present for my dad, and it was Afterlives by Gurnah, and I went with my dad as his birthday present to a reading of Gurnah, who won the I think Nobel Prize for Literature, and it was really, really interesting. It was such a good talk, and like his reading voice is just gorgeous, and it was really, really interesting. I had a nice evening with my dad, and my dad said he wanted to actually read the original, the English version, but we're German, and there's a lot of stuff we don't know, and his English isn't like, his English is good, but it's not that amazing. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna buy the English version, the original, and I'm gonna read it first and like see if I think you understand everything, and then I'm gonna gift it to you. And I did that, and I also made a lot of notes in it, not only about like words you may not know and like context of, because it does take place in Africa, mostly in Tanzania, so I made notes of like things that he might have trouble understanding in English in the African context, but I also made a lot of notes about like things I didn't know, about like where everything was taking place, and I just had a really great experience with this book. It took me forever, but I learned so much. I got insight into so many new experiences. It's about German colonialism in mostly Tanzania, over the span of I think like 20 years, maybe 30, so much info there, such interesting stories he created. It was an amazing book. Like, I get why he won the prize. Obviously it was also really, really sad and depressing and frustrating and brutal. Well, you know, that's the history. So yeah, it was a really impressive book. I don't think I'm gonna pick up another of his books just because they are so brutal as history is with colonialism, but I am really glad that I read this one and that I got so into it and that I actually like looked up things. I kind of followed the route he was taking, so yeah, it was a really interesting reading experience. And then I also had a Christmas present for my mom, which is the Coffee Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Kawaguchi, I think. Basically she saw this in the bookshop and said it looked gorgeous, but again her English isn't so good, and this is a Japanese translation, and it's recently been translated into German. So basically my present to her was that I got the English version, she got the German version, and we read them simultaneously and then talked about them. And I have been meaning to read this book for I think 3 years now. It's so gorgeous. I love the concept that you can time travel in this cafe, but only for like a really short amount of time before the coffee gets cold. It's short stories, which I love, so I just assumed it would be a perfect book for me, and kind of because of that I haven't actually read it yet, or up till then, because it felt like I already had. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So when she said she wanted to read it, I said, you know what, perfect, I'm finally gonna read it, I'm gonna love it, it's gonna be perfect for me. And then we read the first story and neither of us liked it. And I was so confused because this is the perfect book for me. I didn't understand it. It was so weird, I was so confused, I was so disappointed. But I continued reading because it was my gift to her and I wanted to keep going. And I'm still not sure what happened. I really don't know what it was in that first story, but the other 3 stories I loved. It's exactly what I thought I would get. It's exactly why I thought I would love this book. it's so cool, it's so amazing. The only thing I will say is that for short stories, 60 pages is quite long. And also, on the flip side, it is impressive that in 60 pages you can write too much. Like, there were some scenes in here where I thought, you know what, you didn't need that. There were some repetition in like 60-page stories. You don't need to repeat something that was just said. That kind of bothered me. It could have been edited better. And maybe that was the first thing in like the first story that did bother me so much that I didn't like it. But the other 3 stories I genuinely adored. It was wonderful to read. My mom didn't like it. But then again, she's not that into like fantasy, sci-fi, time travel, so you know. But I really did enjoy it, so that's lovely. Then I also read this 10th part in Gefühl, Namens, Liebe, the manga series I've been reading all year. Not gonna go into detail, it's a cute, really lovely story. I enjoy it every time. This is part 10, I'm gonna keep reading. Just wanted to mention that. And then I read 2 Christmas books. The first of which is The Secret Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. This is the 5th part in the series. And it takes place during Christmas. It's like the Christmas part of the series. And I just really enjoy the series. This wasn't my favorite one of them. Basically, every story has one of the guys of the book club and his love story with a new girl. And I liked this one. It was like romantic and cheesy and funny and sweet and emotional and everything I wanted, and it was really cute and it was Christmassy and I really enjoyed reading it. It just wasn't my favorite couple of the books we've had in the series. So I really enjoyed it. It got me in the Christmas mood. It just wasn't, compared to the other books in the series, it was my favorite. But I did really enjoy it. It's emotional and sweet, and I'm excited to see which couple is next in the series. And then I also picked up this one, which is Briefe für Dich by Gitta Edelmann and Kölpin. And it's one where you have like 24 chapters and you have like little illustrations and stuff. So it's a story in 24 chapters. And basically the reason I picked this up is because it's about a woman named Hannah, which is my name, who just recently opened a book cafe, which is what I want to do with my life. So I thought, you know what, perfect, I'm gonna pick this up. Couple of things. First of all, the beginning was really creepy for me because not only do we have those 2 factors that align with my life, but then there were like other details, like names of people in her life and like instances in her life that also aligned with my life, and that was kind of freaking me out. It stopped after 2 chapters, but just the beginning kind of felt like someone was stalking me. It was really weird. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't enjoy it. I was kind of disappointed. It's cute enough that I did continue reading it. It was like a nice story. It wasn't like bad or anything, but it also wasn't good. Like, the love story felt really forced, and like there was so much enemies and then a really short 2 lovers. And I didn't really like the main character, and yeah, it didn't really sit right with me. I didn't really enjoy it, which is sad, but you know, happens. But then that brings us to the final book I read in 2022, and the final book of the Grisha series. Not the final book, that is the last book that came out. I am still holding on to the hope that there will be more. I'm convinced there will be more. I'm counting on it. This can't be the end. But yeah, I finished the series. I read Wool of Wolves by Bardugo. And just, yeah, what can I say? I mean, this series is amazing. It's freaking fantastic. It's just the characters, the dynamics, the development, the world building, the magic system, the way in these last two books that the magical world has been expanded in a really clever, intelligent, wonderful way. The like feeling of yeah, everything has been leading to this, everything makes sense. She's shadowing my heart in a billion pieces sometimes, and I got really, really frustrated and mad, but like within the story it all felt so real, and I smiled and I laughed and I cried and I screamed, and Jesus fucking Christ, was this an experience of a series, of a book, of a world. I can't. It's so good. It's so good. I'm actually getting teary-eyed. Yeah. If you haven't read the Grisha books yet, just do yourself a favor and do it. Honestly. Like, what are you waiting for? It's so good. It's so good. I'm really, really glad that I did that this year. I read the entire series this year and it's come to an end for now. I'm looking forward to everything that will be published in the future. I'm also really looking forward to season 2 of the series, which is also freaking amazing. So well adapted, so well done. And I will definitely reread these books at some point, but for now I just, yeah, I just love them so much. So much. So yeah, this was a really, really good end to my reading year. It felt like a perfect little final book. Also, I did read it in one day during my Christmas break, so I just sat down and read it. Yeah, so that was the end of my reading year. It felt really wonderful to end on that note. I had such a good year. I'm also gonna post a video of my 10 favorite books of the year, maybe today, maybe this week, like soon. Soon I will talk about my 10 favorite books of the year, but just in general, I had a really, really wonderful reading year. I read some amazing books, I stuck to my goals, I discovered new things I liked, and I just feel really happy with it, and I can't wait to see what the next reading year brings. I hope you read some wonderful books as well. Let me know if you want to tell me about them in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you always have a reason to smile. And I shall see you in the next year. Bye!